All right. Hi, I'm just waiting for Liz and Carol to join me. So,
hi.
Hey, hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. This is
I'm just
great.
letting the audience know. So that was Wise Woman Tango by Carol Wood. So we're having, it's actually interesting, the age of COVID, the age of learning how to use technology. My audio
I never learned.
Literally fried about 15 minutes ago. And and here's Carol. Hold on. Yes. Okay. And we have Carol. Sorry, this is going to be a bit loose today. Some audio tech issue. So I'm going to, it's been interesting. So we started with Wise Woman Tango. And I see that Carol's waiting in the thing. I'll let her in a few minutes. But what I'd like to do is I would like to read her bio first, and then we'll introduce Carol. Carol Wood is a harpist, composer, and professor emerita of medieval literature at McNeese State University in Lake Charles, Louisiana, where she taught for almost 30 years. She and her husband have now moved to the beautiful river, Saxtons River, where she continues to perform, write music, and garden. And welcome, Carol. So I'm going to add her to the stream. Thank you. All right. Hi. Carol.
Yay!
You're here.
Yeah, I'm so glad I made it.
Yay!
I didn't make it, actually. I have this iRig thing, this beautiful stream, which I waited 5 months for, and I got it, and it fried at 7:20.
No.
Good. And my sister's telling me to turn up the mic. So, can you hear me?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Great. My sister is here, and she's going to be
Hi, Allison.
Yeah. So I think this is going to be more important than the other concerts in some way, because the barriers are down, and so I'm actually going to invite the audience, to ask you questions today. We're going to ask you a lot of questions today.
Okay.
Is that okay?
As long as I get to ask my question.
All right. Okay, you will. You will.
Oh, yeah,
So-
right, good.
So we just started a Wise Women Tango, and I just love your music, Carol. I just think it's amazing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So I am going to ask you the questions that I asked the other two composers that we had in the series.
Mhm.
So who are your favorite composers and musical influences?
Well, Vaughan Williams is a big
Oh.
favorite. He's so lyrical and so bucolic, and I mean, he kind of reminds me of Vermont a little bit. So, but I love so much of Vaughan Williams. Well, as Lydia does, and as I know you two do too, I love Ervo Part. And I love the way he manages to sound both medieval and very modern at the same time.
Yes.
And another one is a contemporary is Ola Yelo, the choral composer.
Yes.
He can be ethereal or absolutely driving, and I love his choral compositions. And I'm very inspired by all of the wonderful young women composers who are just growing up and doing wonderful things. Well, for example, Caroline Shaw, and the wonderful Icelandic composer Hildur Guðmundsdóttir. She's the one who won the Oscar for the soundtrack for The Joker, which I haven't heard, but I did hear what she wrote for the television series Chernobyl, which was terrifying and wonderful. Yeah.
I have listened to it's a wonderful album that she did about 5 years ago on cello, and it's phenomenal. And it's just so ethereal. It's just
great. I'll really
for me.
Yeah, wonderful.
Oh, that's great. So we're gonna this is kind of an interesting concert because we're not playing live, which is strange. Alice and I have been rehearsing and performing outdoors, and accompanied by lawnmowers and dogs and kids coming to watch, and it's been a great experience. So we recorded about 3 weeks ago. We recorded your set, so we're happy to present that today. So we'll start with the Mirabeau Bridge. And can you tell us about that piece?
Oh, sure. So it was a piece I originally wrote for voice and harp. It's an art song, and the text is based on a translation that my son David made of the famous poem in French by Guillaume Apollinaire. And I'll just brag for a minute from a mother's point of view. So I think David did this when he was an undergraduate. And it's a poem that many, many great poets have translated, including X.J. Kennedy and Richard Wilbur. And Kennedy was visiting our house once, and David showed him his translation of the poem. And X.J. Kennedy said to him, "This is better than mine. And it's even better than Dick Wilbur's." So I was so proud. Anyway, I think it's a beautiful, beautiful, very French piece. The lyrics are very, very French, two lovers saying goodbye on the bridge over the Seine. And so I was thinking of the harp playing the watery part. So that's the part Allison gets to play. And Liz, you're playing the vocal part, of course. So
cool. Yeah. All right. So I am doing not a playlist. I'm just clicking on each video. So I will remove us from the stream and then put the video of the Mirabeau Bridge.
Okay.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. Hi. Can people hear me? Can people hear me? So I am learning how to do StreamYard, and I was sharing. I apologize. I was sharing, and I forgot to share the audio. So I'm going to start over again. Let me work on that. Let me close this up. Hold on. I'm learning. Hold on. And then Chrome tab, Variable Bridge, share audio. All right.
Thank you. That was beautiful. You played it so beautifully.
Thank you.
It's a gorgeous piece. Thank you so much for letting us work on it. So can I ask her my question now?
Yeah,
which
this is a good time.
I have this thing being a pianist, and since there were 5 harp majors at Oberlin, and they were exquisite creatures. And I always wonder if harp players see the pianist as like the Randy Quaid of like the
I don't.
chord instrument world. But anyway.
No,
Oh, good.
no, not at all. No.
Oh,
I
good.
know I don't, and I don't think other harpists do. And I know many harpists who are also very accomplished pianists, and it really pays to be an accomplished pianist if you're a harpist, and I'm not. But yeah, so I don't think there's that feeling about pianists.
Okay. Well, because it's so elegant, and that piece that we just played, it's because it's the Mirabeau Bridge and the subject matter and everything. Well, I have another question too. This is the more grown-up one. So, which is we were wondering if you have a compositional process or routine, and if you're willing to talk about it a little bit.
I do have some routines. So typically, and this is interesting because what Kathy said last night too, typically I love to get up really early in the morning, especially once the days get shorter and it's really dark. And I think to do my writing. And I think I started that back when more people lived in my house and it was the really quiet time. But I've also found that that's just a productive time for me, just on waking up for some reason. And I also think that when I'm first starting a piece, one thing that I'm searching for, I feel like a spider kind of throwing out filaments and trying to find something to hook onto to start the web. But I'm looking for a motif or a rhythm or a phrase of melody or sometimes a form that will be then the basis for the whole piece. I call it the nugget of the piece.
Yeah.
I was just hearing Eric Whitaker says it much more poetically. He said it was the gold brick on which the rest of the foundation is built. So that's so that's always or almost always the beginning point. So
yeah,
that I'm thinking more. I'm trying to think more in terms of form these days, and then filling out the form as I go. So yeah, that's probably all I can think of to tell you.
No, that's great. I wonder what it is about those early morning hours that are fruitful, because I think Toni Morrison wrote it. Did her writing in early in the morning too. Yeah. So I don't know. I think you write beautiful things. Are we going to hear more?
Yes.
Yay.
So we're going to play. It's really neat because we play this piece that we're going to play now on March 21st, The Long Party. And you came up the week before, and it was really cool because you were bringing up a Celtic harp, I think for Linda Radke to try out.
Oh, she was bringing it to me.
That's right.
To me because a friend of hers wanted to sell it to someone that I could be in contact with. So and now with COVID, nothing at all has happened on that. So, but yeah.
But it was amazing. You came up for our rehearsal. It was so great to see you.
It was wonderful to be there.
Yeah, and so we're going to play The Long Party. Tell us about this piece. This is such a passionate. I love this piece.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So this was a piece that I wrote in a really bleak period in my life, and it's a period that's still kind of going on, but it so this is a good example, I think, of what I was just talking about, Alice. And so I knew when I started this piece that I wanted to have an ostinato or an ostinato-like effect. And I also knew that I wanted to incorporate a lot of tritones, which is not something that I normally try to do in a piece. And I also knew that I wanted it to, after a certain time and after sort of going through, then I wanted it to ratchet itself up into a higher key, and hopefully then a higher intensity, to express the grief that this long parting from someone going through dementia causes.
I have to say, it sits so well in the viola. I remember the first time I read it. And then the A minor part, it goes with the open A, the harmonic, and I'm using harmonics, and I'm using like lots of vibrato occasionally, you know. But it has so much. This piece has so much color in it, and I just love it so much. So we're excited to do a different version for you today.
Oh, great, thank you.
Okay. So I will try, this time I will share the audio. So patience, audience, and just 1 second. Okay. Okay.
playing that piece always cast its spell.
Yeah.
It's
It just makes me speechless.
Oh, goodness.
Such beautiful music. Such beautiful music. Thank you. I think what I'd like to do for a change is the next two pieces will feature you and your videos.
Okay.
So we're going to, and you said the invocation and to Bridget, right? And the sheep and shepherd, and actually it's reverse order to that. And we're going to see you play harp, which is great. It's great. So when did you start harp?
Oh, I started the harp when I was about 30. I was, maybe I was a little bit young. I know I was finishing my dissertation, and John and I went to a concert, and the guest artist was a harpist, and she played the Ravel introduction and Allegro, which was, of course, swoony and wonderful. And
yes,
but I saw that on stage also the principal harpist of the orchestra was a faculty member at McNeese, and I thought, oh, I could ask her if I could take harp lessons from her. And so the day I wrote the last sentence of my dissertation, I went to her studio and asked her if she ever took adult beginners. And at that time, actually, a lot of beginning harpists were adults, and that's still true today. So I was pretty old.
But she must have been a great teacher, because I think you play harp very beautifully.
Oh, you're so kind.
Oh no, I think we're going to be really enjoying it. So tell us about the next two pieces. So it's Sheep and Shepherd, and then Invocation to Bridget.
So the Sheep and Shepherd medley is not by me, but I wanted to sort of do a mashup of two pieces that I really loved about sheep. And so the outer parts are my arrangement of the beautiful setting Howard Goodall made of the Lord is My Shepherd. And the inner part is taken directly from Kim Robertson's arrangement of Sheep May Safely Graze. Kim Robertson, the wonderful Celtic harpist who's a great hero of mine. And so I put them together and made them, I hope, into one piece. And so do you want me to talk about the invocation as well right now? Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So that is a piece that I wrote for this series of books that I have a wonderful harp music publisher who publishes the harp pieces that I write. And so this was for a book called The Wheel of the Year. And this was the piece for St. Bridget's Day, or Imbolc, the Celtic holiday of February the 2nd. And it's written in the Mixolydian mode, which it just sounds so wonderful on the harp. There's something about the Mixolydian mode that is perfect for the harp, I think. And I was thinking about that beautiful John Duncan painting of Saint Bride being carried over the ocean by the two angels. So I was thinking it's really more like a barcarolle describing her voyage, but it's so lovely. The seabirds are flying along with her, and there's this little seal swimming along in the water beside them. So I definitely had seabirds' calls in mind for the opening notes, and it does have I hope, a kind of a barcarolle feeling.
That's great. Can I ask? So you write a lot of Welsh music, Welsh and Celtic. Is that is that where your ancestors?
My heritage. Well, I mean, my maiden name is Lloyd, and that's pretty well. So, and I love Wales very much, and of course Wales has both Wales and Ireland have great harp traditions of different kinds. So. Yeah, and I have maybe I have a lot of attraction to that.
Actually, the three of us are connected that way because Allison's mother's family is Welsh descent.
Oh, really?
And my father's mother's family was from northern Wales.
Wow.
Very close to Liverpool. So I and a bit of Irish, but the Welsh is very strong, though I don't speak it. But okay, so we will play two pieces, and so we'll play Carol playing by Carol Wood, Sheep and Shepherd, and Invocation to Bridget. So I'm just going to remove us from the feed. We know the routine. Okay.
Those are lovely. Yes,
That's
they're gorgeous.
great.
Thanks.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So I am going to ask you, I decided I was going to ask 3 questions. It turned out we asked you a lot more today.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And if anybody in the audience wants to ask Carol, please type in the comments and I will be able to see. We'll make it interactive. So this is question number 3. This is kind of the personal one, because I've been thinking a lot about the why these days. I'm sure everybody's thinking about the why. Why do we play music? Why do we compose? Why do we pursue a creative activity? So I would like to ask you, and I'm going to, just to warn you, I'm going to put you on solo screen when you answer,
Okay.
Carol. Is that okay? No pressure.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yay. Okay. So question number 3. I know we need like a drum roll. Okay. When did you realize that you needed to compose? Is there a story?
Oh, well, I can tell you a story about how I first composed, and that is that I'd been taking harp lessons, and I'd been, with the encouragement of my teacher, doing a lot of arranging for harp and harp ensemble, and then I encountered 2 songs. I'm sorry, 2 poems. The Thomas Hardy, The Oxen, and that wonderful little Christmas carol of the field mice in the wind in the willows. And I just thought, these need to be songs. They're poems that need to be songs. And so I just thought I would set them to music. So I did. And so those were the first things I ever actually composed. And once I did that, I wanted to keep on doing it. But I've been thinking a lot about your question of why, Liz, because I know you asked the other 2 composers as well. So I've been thinking about the why of it, and why it's now so important to me, because I lived for 30 or more years without ever composing, and yet now it's incredibly important to me. And I cannot answer that question. It is a mystery to me, why it's so terribly significant, but it is. I love it. The idea of not having that in my life is terrifying. And I don't know why it's so important to me, because it's really hard to do. Hard in the sense that the goal is to end up with something that is moving to people, that maybe it's beautiful, maybe it's terrifying, maybe it's just incredibly soothing, but your purpose is to end up with something significant. And the hard part is that a lot of the time, inevitably, I think I fall short of that, and it's deeply disappointing, and I have no one to blame but myself, and all I can do is just try harder, either on another piece or going back to the piece. But if that's not the goal, then I think I'm wasting my time, because the world is full of gorgeous, wonderful music. So I try, and then on the other hand, when I am able to write something that people like, that wonderful musicians like yourselves feel is worth spending your time on, or that the audience is moved by, then it's so worth it. And that's the best answer that I could come up with.
That's great. Yeah. Thank you. I think personally I have a similar thing,
Mm-hmm.
a very similar philosophy. Like, I have to do it. And a lot of times I feel imperfect. And, I just keep going. And then like you, I'll go on to another piece or I'll revisit. Like actually there's pieces that I've been working on and off for about 20 years. Like the fretters, the Avro part that we played in March, I tried it about 10 years ago. And it was like gibberish to me. I couldn't make any sense of it. I couldn't do any of the arpeggios, like the string crossing. And then suddenly, like 6 months ago, it just clicked. And I'm like, so it's that whole process as a performer. And it's just like, for me, I have to try a little bit every day and do it in small chunks. And then if I see the big picture, sometimes I get overwhelmed. But I've been, and fortunately, I've been playing throughout all this, because it keeps me grounded.
Yeah.
And I think, Allison, you've been doing that as well. You've been doing this well.
Yeah, rotating through the pieces and so on. And about the failure thing, it's funny because I took a few lessons with Paul Orgel in the last few years. Every now and then I feel like I need to play for someone. And I remember telling him that I said, in my entire life, I think there are maybe 5 performances that I feel like are okay. And I was waiting for like this revelation, like he'd say, well, you're in the wrong business. And he just looked at me. He's like, yeah. So I don't know. It's in that movie, Chef. It's where someone's making a grilled cheese and he says something, I'm going to swear, but he's like, oh, you have to do it this way because, if you fuck it up, life's not worth living. And it feels that way. Yeah. So, anyway, but your music certainly hits its mark with us. So
That's wonderful to hear. It really is.
That's great. So we're going to play our final piece of the program, and it's called In the End. So Carol, can you tell us about this piece?
Oh, okay. This also was an art song originally, and it's based on a poem by contemporary poet Liz Rosenberg. A student of mine pointed this poem out to me, and I loved it. It's and it's part of a collection that I put together of settings of poems about happily married couples called Songs for Married Lovers. And that's what the poem is about. It's about being in love with the person that you're married to and understanding each other. It starts out saying, the voice in the poem says, I love how old men carry purses for their wives. So.
Yeah, it was fun to, because, my shadow self is singing. My shadow self is a diva. I actually think of myself as a singer that just happens to play viola.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Yeah.
And I kind of approach it more vocally than instrumentally always. So it was really fun to put the articulations of the words.
I'm really looking forward to hearing this.
Oh, it's great. So here we go. You know the routine. All right. So here we move. Okay. And here we are.
Thank you. I loved hearing that.
You're welcome.
Oh, well, your pieces are so beautiful. I'm sorry I keep saying that, but it's just, oh, I don't know. And I can hear things. I like know how I want to shape them and what it's great. So I'm sorry.
No.
Someone tell a joke.
I can.
This has been great. This has been great.
Every time I play this piece, Allison will attest to this, is I'm at the point of tears at the end of the song.
Oh my goodness.
Including right now.
We had help too, which I should say.
We had lots of help.
Well, one you can see, it's my daughter Emma's turning the pages. The other you can't see is my mom. We put a chair out in the driveway and she, listened to us. And it was really great to play these pieces for her. Yeah.
Hi, Marilyn. Marilyn Bruce.
Yeah.
And let's not forget Neil. Let's not forget Neil Cerutti.
Oh.
For the help with the tech, with the sound checking, because that's what we were working. Because remember, we sent you a draft, Carol.
Yes.
And we're trying to get the fullness, and it turned out we actually got inspired by seeing the Crapberry Chamber Players a post, and they had the speakers. I'm like, okay, we got to do this. So Neil worked with us for about an hour and a half on that second week. I mean, to get it right. Yes.
The technical side of this is overwhelming to me. I don't see how you all have managed to do this. I really don't.
I have Liz.
Well, so this thing fried at 7:20, and I unfortunately had a backup, but it was like, okay, it just never goes. It's like, I guess it's like life, nothing.
Right.
Sometimes things won't go to plan, and you have to have a backup or just adjust. And I think with this COVID thing, we're always constantly adjusting. So
that's been the story of everyone's lives. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that's great. So Carol, where can we find you on the web?
Oh, I think you posted my old website
I didn't make a new
well,
website.
There's another one that I made because it's easier for me to keep it up to date through Wix. So I think it's just, I think Wix has to be the first part in the first element of it. And so it's just the HTTP and then Wix.Carol Wood. And then I think maybe the easiest is just my Facebook page, Carol Woods Music.
Yes.
So, and that's a lot easier for me to keep up to date.
Yes. Oh, it's been great to have you as a Facebook friend. I think we've been Facebook friend for about 4 or 5 years now. And
I'm sure. Yeah.
It's been wonderful. And
yeah, I know. I'm so happy about that. Yeah.
It's being a good presence in my Facebook life. And great supporter.
Episcopal cats with problems. Not one of our musical things that we share, but yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you both. This has been so great. So much fun.
Thank you. So I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. If anybody has any questions, please send me a message on Facebook at Elizabeth Reed Violist or at the Cerutti-Reid Duo. And I think we're going to plan some concerts probably later this year, but I think we're taking a few.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but we might have back on and talk to people. So we might do that in a week or so. So I hope everybody has a great end of August, having a safe return to schools, and everyone do well. Again, thank you, Carol. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
So we'll say bye, everybody. I'm going to end the broadcast. Bye, everyone.
Right.
Okay. Take care.
Bye-bye.